Hello and welcome to the Analog Leftie. My name is Elise. In my last fountain pen video, I talked about my entry into European pens, the LAMY All-Star. I had enjoyed my experience with it so much that I decided to try another LAMY pen, the Vista, and that's what we're going to be talking about today. So I've been wanting to get a Demonstrator fountain pen, so when I decided to finally buy one, I went for the LAMY Vista. I got this in February, about a month after the All-Star, and I got it from Amazon for 38 Canadian dollars. It came in this familiar looking box, and inside, the pen was housed in another box. So this is also a LAMY branded one, and it had the Vista marker on it. It confused me for a bit because my other LAMY pens didn't come with another box in the box, but I appreciated the extra protection. Because I had the All-Star in the medium nib, I decided to get the Vista in a fine nib because I also wanted to see how the LAMY fine nibs write. One of the things I learned from research is that this is a LAMY Safari fountain pen. So the model is Safari in the Vista colorway. So that at least has been cleared up to me. LAMY released the Safari in the 1980s, becoming a huge cult classic and making it the progenitor of the All-Star, which was first introduced in 1997, and the LX, more recently released in 2016. The LAMY Safari Vista is made from ASA plastic, which I learned is an alternative to ABS plastic, and apparently is more flexible, harder, and more weather resistant compared to ABS. It also resists aging and yellowing, which is something you'd want for a clear-bodied demonstrator like this. You'd want it to look clear and pristine as time goes by. I originally thought that LAMY Safaris were made with ABS plastic because I remember reading up on my LAMY Safari rollerball and remembering that it's made with ABS. Maybe they changed the materials they use, and if that's the case, I couldn't be sure what material my LAMY Vista is made with, since I got it from Amazon and not directly from LAMY. You can clearly see, no pun intended, how the LAMY Safari's design translates to the All-Star, which I heavily nerded out on in my previous video. On first glance, they look the same, but there are some noticeable differences on closer look. First, the Vista is a smidge shorter and narrower in girth. Second is the silver foil logo versus the engraving on the All-Star. Third is that the O-ring is adjoined on the section of the Vista and acts more as a buffer, while the O-ring on the All-Star is attached to the barrel and acts as both the buffer and thread attachment point in the barrel. The O-ring on the Vista is slightly thinner compared to the All-Star too, and I wonder if that's the reason why the capping sound has less oomph to it. Fourth, you'll notice that there's a groove on the cap where the clip is attached to the Vista, while it's seamless with the All-Star. Actually, if we turn them on their sides, you'll see that the Vista's clip juts out more versus the All-Star. And of course, the most glaring difference is the clear body of the Vista, which is probably one of my favorite things about this pen. I love that you can clearly see the inside, even if there isn't a lot of complicated mechanisms in there. I thought about getting the Z27 converter for the black turning handle, but I think the Z28 works great too. I like seeing the entire capacity of the ink, and now that I think about it, they could have done away with the ink window since it's a clear-bodied pen. And because the grip section is not tinted, you can see what's going on inside the feed, which helps out a lot in cleaning the pen. Similar to the All-Star, I like how this pen handles, even if it's a little bit lighter. The robust material that they use makes this feel like it's not a cheap plastic pen. I still wouldn't post it because it's the perfect length for me unposted, and you'll see that the cap has metal fittings on it, so if I post it, it'll backweight the pen for me. But it's definitely postable if that's something that you require. I also noticed that you can tell where the injection molding is on the pen body. If you run your finger through that line, it catches a little bit, but it's not sharp that it becomes a nuisance when you write. They place the injection molding strategically on the flat side of the pen, so it's not like an awkward line on the pen body. In terms of the writing experience, I must say I'm a huge fan of the LAMY fine nib. It's the perfect middle ground between a Japanese fine nib and the LAMY medium nib, which I reviewed previously, and it still showcases the beautiful shading qualities of the Pilot Iroshizuku Tsukio ink that I have loaded the pen with. It writes smoothly, not scratchy at all, and it's the same forgiving steel nib. The fine nib, I would say, is perfect for everyday writing, whether you use it for work, school, journaling, or even sketching and drawing. Overall, I'm a big fan of the LAMY Vista. It's actually one of my most used pens as of late. It's a great writer, and dare I say, it being a demonstrator adds to its appeal and character. You definitely can't go wrong with this one. And I'm interested to see if it retains the pristine clear body over time. We've technically covered the LAMY Safari and how it compares to the All-Star, so my next fountain pen video should just be a fun chat about my other LAMY Safari. I still have to think about how to approach that video, so you still get something out of it than just me rambling. Anyway, if you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate your time and you for being here. Thank you for watching. I hope you're having a great start to the fall season. Take care, and I'll see you on the next one.